we talked a little bit about how in Indian tradition we find that wealth has been understood as an important means to ensure social stability. And we find references in texts like Mahabharata and Arthashastra, which speak about how wealth is necessary even to pursue the works of dharma. Now, there is another view that is put forth by several of our texts and several of our sages and seers, which is that wealth can also become an impediment to the pursuit of higher goals, spiritual goals in life. And what is encouraged is to pursue contentment, santosh. There is actually a very long dialogue between Yudhishthira and Arjun, where Yudhishthira is explaining to Arjun in Mahabharata the value of contentment in life. And what he says is that one acquires heaven through contentment, and from contentment springs happiness. In the same passage, Yudhishthira goes on to speak about the real use for which wealth was created. And I bring this up because it connects very well with what Sri Aurobindo has also said about the nature of money, the nature of wealth. So in the Mahabharata, we find Yudhishthira telling Arjun that wealth was created by the Creator for the sake of sacrifices. That is, for the sake of yagna, for the sake of doing good deeds. And man was created by him for protecting the wealth and for performing those sacrifices. So, in Sri Aurobindo's understanding, the way Sri Aurobindo explains the nature of money, we find a similar idea that money is a sign of a universal force that he says is indispensable for the fullness of outer life. Whatever works we need to do in outer life, money is indispensable, highly important for that. But then he adds, this force is at the present in the hands of the asura, the dark forces which are possessors of this wealth, possessors of this force. And that's what, often money gets used for doing not so good things in the world. So which is why many spiritual traditions in the past have said that one should not pursue wealth. But Sri Aurobindo gives a much more balanced perspective. He says that those who are practicing or who want to aspire for a higher life, for truer goals in life, for spiritual goals in life, who are aspiring to be some sort of a sadhak, practicing some sadhana and yoga in life, it is their duty to actually also pursue wealth in a dharmic way so that this force can be reconquered and come in the hands of the right instruments and can be used for what Yudhishthira was saying, for the sake of doing good deeds for the world, good deeds for humanity, good deeds for the country. So the attitude one should take is to earn wealth and then use it for the right deeds in life. That is the thing Sri Aurobindo also speaks about. He says that money should be reconquered, wealth should be reconquered and put it at the service of the Divine Mother, the works that we are doing for the Divine Mother. Again, we go back to Mahabharata and see the similarity. There is another passage in which Yudhishthira is saying that one should use money to give it in charity. But as again we see in the same Mahabharata, in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna speaks about one should not just give money in charity to whatever one likes. He speaks about three kinds of dana, three kinds of charity: tamasic, rajasic and sattvic. Sattvic being the highest one, which comes with a discernment for what purpose you are giving charity, to whom you are giving charity. So that kind of intelligence, that kind of discernment also has to be developed, cultivated. These are the ways in which our Indian tradition has looked at the right means to earn money and then the right way to spend it. There is a very interesting reason, if you will. These two attitudes may seem contradictory, seem paradoxical in nature, but the reason I feel we find these differing perspectives given in our tradition is because the emphasis is that one should figure out a way to integrate these diverse perspectives. And in that integration, we find the right dharmic attitude towards the money. How to earn it, how to develop or cultivate an attitude of contentment, moderation, balanced, healthy attitude towards money. Or we can even call it as a yogic attitude towards money, a yogic relationship with money. Let me also share another example from Mahabharata again. There is a beautiful dialogue in Shanti Parv between King Janaka and Sulabha. Sulabha is another wonderful woman character in Mahabharata. And the essence of that long dialogue that happens is translated by Ganguly in this way. It summarizes in: emancipation does not exist in poverty, nor is bondage to be found in affluence. One attains to emancipation through knowledge alone, whether one is indigent or affluent. So, as I said in one of our previous videos also, in India we have never glorified poverty. Emancipation, the true liberation, does not come when one is living poorly, nor is bondage to be found in affluence. When one is too affluent, then also one is not liberated, and at the same time one is not bonded also, one is not in bondage also. The true attitude is inner renunciation, inner tyag, not the tyag or giving away of the outer objects, the outer objects of possession, the money, but the inner detachment towards money, towards wealth, towards all that the wealth can bring. Sri Aurobindo has talked about in this context that the right attitude is not to have a rajasic attachment to money and all that the money can bring, nor have a tamasic denial or shrinking from money. So just so that okay, I am going to live poorly, I don't need all these things. That can also come from this tamasic attitude, very kind of a vairagya kind of attitude, tamasic vairagya, because I'm lazy, I don't want to work towards earning money, so I'm just going to live poorly. And at the same time, a rajasic attachment brings misery, because when we have money, when it helps us get the things that we are looking for, we are happy. It gives us pleasure, not the real delight. For the time being, it gives us pleasure. The moment that is taken away, the pain, the suffering comes back. So that kind of rajasic attachment also has to be given up. This is the way to practice an inner renunciation. So this is another way to understand what we find in Indian tradition as to the right attitude towards money.